Hi everyone, Sean back from the Sci-Fi Model Guy, and welcome to Chapter 3 of the 537 scale USS Reliant build from AMT. And before we go any further, everyone, I do want to call out something. Now, in this video, you're going to see me talking about putting some solar res to fill in the little window slots on the bottom sensor part of the saucer section. So there's two little windows on each of these sides there. And the thought at the time was I was going to put the solar res in there, mask it off, and then paint the model and do everything. It turned out to be not such a good idea. Because when I light this up, it's not coming through clearly. So I am going to have to do some drilling and some cleanup to get the lights to show just right. I'm pretty sure it's going to look just fine, but just forewarning, in the video, I'm going to leave it in here because it's not terrible, but I just want you to know before you go any further that you may want to consider doing some other method. And I'll talk about that in the conclusion of this video as well. And I really have nothing else. I'm actually recording this the day after I recorded the intro for the last video that you saw last week. So I'm just trying to get some videos built up, some storage, because I have about 2 hours of footage I've actually recorded on this. Of course, not every minute is going to be in the videos, but I do have a lot of content like we talked about before. So anyway, enjoy this video. We're going to be talking some more about the resin parts and some more photo etch. And as always, I really appreciate your comments and suggestions and tips and everything else. So we will see you down the road. Hey everybody. Okay, so I'm in a different part of the garage here, and I'm just over here because I need a little bit more space and some ventilation, because I've been cutting out the pieces of the main part of the model kit to make room for these high resin pieces. So this has been quite a bit of work. I've never really done this before, so I am learning quite a bit in doing this. But so I'm not going to bore you with all the actual footage of me working on this, but basically it was really a bear to get this out. You got to cut it out a little at a time, test fit it, cut out a little bit more, test fit it, and eventually it went in. Now you can see here there's a gap between the piece and the model where I'm going to have to fill some putty, but that's okay. So I'm going to pop this out, because once you take off the piece, so here's the other side of the hull. I have not taken this out yet. So this piece right here, the bottom of the mushroom there per se, that's the part you have to take out. So I've been working with the Dremel tool with a grinder to get that out. It's a lot of work. Now, if you do use a Dremel, everyone make sure you wear a mask because this is resin and it will mess you up. So you do not want to breathe this in. You want to make sure you're ventilated, you get a fan blowing everything outside, and that your face is covered, which I did.
All right, important safety tip. Thanks, Egon.
But it is a kind of a difficult and long process to get this cut out. So I did do that on this one. This is what it kind of looks like at the end. You can see the bottom where you can see where I cut that out, but that's fine. Now, the cool thing is this piece here, you see on the bottom where my thumb is, there's a little ridge, and that gives you that little extra wiggle room so that you can cut out a little bit wider of a radius here than is needed. So you don't have to have a super tight fit, because this little ridge will give you some surface area to rip on the other side. So I'm going to show you that right now if I can. I'll do a quick edit and mount the camera here, and we'll show you what we mean. Okay, I've got the camera mounted. I'm not holding it anymore. So I'm just going to take the piece here, and I'm just going to pop it underneath this hole that I cut. You can see here, it's not perfectly round. I didn't do a perfect job. It's a little wonky, but I just kept at it and testing it, and eventually, once I was able to pop it in, I stopped. I don't need it to be a perfect circle, because we're going to fill that in with putty, and it's going to look nice and clean. So it's in there. I'll turn it around. So it's nice and solid in there. So I'm going to just take some CA glue and just glue this in. You don't need me to show that. It's just a very easy process. We're going to lay it on that little ridge there, and then pop it in. Okay, that's it for this section, and we'll move on to the next one. Don't know what it's going to be, so we'll see you in a second. Okay, everyone, here's the next section, and what we're looking at here is the bottom part of the saucer section. So I've gone ahead and done the same thing we did before with the solar res, and as you can see here, I've put in some solar res into these little windows right here. As you can see there's just two on each side. Now, the original piece had basically a big gap here, and there's a big clear piece that goes in here, and this would have been a whole big bright window. But this one here, this piece has a little bit more detail and two windows instead of one big one. So we did that. So same thing as before, we just put solar res in there, and I've sanded it down. You can see here there's the goo in there, and I've sanded it down. And basically what I did once it was done, and in order to get a flat surface, I'd put down this old piece of pretty rough grit. I think it's 150 or 180, and I just did this, just basically did that until it smoothed out. And so I'll go ahead and put the little light in here, flashlight, and you can see here, if I can get it right, there you go. You can see these two lights there showing up. Sorry about the glare, but there we go. There's two more, and that's a lot more detailed than what we would have had with the other piece here, which would have been a big window there. That big gap right there would have been all clear. So a little bit more refined detail, a little bit more refined detail here on the top with some of these little grooves there. We can paint and get a lot more intricate look to it. So anyway, yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're back and we're looking at the back of the saucer section, and as you can see, we have installed the impulse assembly. We've got the red impulse engines installed and some really nasty looking glue going on, but we don't need to worry about that because we're not going to be seeing that. We do also have some putty work going on here, and that is some really cool product that I was made aware of, and I can't remember who told me about this, and I apologize if you're watching the video and you're the one who suggested it to me. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, but it's an epoxy sculpt, and it's an A and B product, or B and A product. Let's do that, A and B. And it works just like a two-part epoxy resin. Or the liquid stuff, and you just mix equal parts of this stuff, and it's like a putty. I'm just going to show this a little bit. And here's what it looks like, and you just take out a little bit, equal parts, and you mix it together, and you can form it. It's like clay, basically. For about 5 or 10 minutes, you can work with this stuff, and it's a really, really good space filler for when you have some serious gap issues or serious light blocking you need to do, because it dries extremely solid and you can sand it down. So it's a lot more versatile or more permanent and solid and opaque light blocking than the perfect plastic putty that we use for thin things. So we may use the perfect plastic putty for little bits in here. I'm just using a sanding stick to point, like right there that seam is. We might use plastic putty for that small little gap. But for areas like here where I wanted to have a seamless connection between this piece and the piece that came with the kit, because I had to cut out basically that this entire piece was part of this. So because this is a resin, it's an aftermarket kit, yeah, obviously I have to cut out the original part and put the new one in, and then so you have to do some seam work. So it's not as perfect as it could be. I'll still be sanding this down some to get a little bit more refined straight edge, but you can see here that once it's painted and puttied and everything, it should look okay. Now, right here, where I'm showing here, is a piece of photo etch, and that is to go over the grill. And I cut out the middle area there, and it took quite a while. I had to cut out quite a bit, and I'm going to demonstrate here, just for your purposes, what I did. So I used this as my guinea pig, and I learned a little bit, and I'm going to go over here and show you what I'm going to do here. So here's the other piece of photo etch. It's upside down and dropped. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay this down there. But before I do that, let me clarify. Right here, there were some raised pieces, or this little triangle here that you see. That is also going to be a photo etch piece. that we're going to be laying on. Those are right here. So I've decided I'm going to use these, but in order to put those on, I had to sand down all the details and stuff so that we get a nice flush fit. So you can see there it's kind of dull and boring looking. That's because the details were sanded away. And I used a combination of sanding sticks and my vibrating 40,000 vibrations per second tool here that we've talked about. Hopefully I've talked about that already. May do an unboxing video. I already recorded one, and we'll talk about that. But anyway, so we've got here this piece of photo etch that we need to lay down over this part. And as you can see, I still need to cut out some more. You can see that little border behind there. Maybe if I can put a little light behind it, you can, there you go. Yeah, you can see that border. So I have to cut that out because we would see that. I want that gone. I want this photo etch to be really nice and defined. And then we're going to go with some Solarez behind here and really make this pop. So, but before we can do that, we got to get rid of any, gosh, I keep dropping this thing. I'm so sorry, guys. But anyway, yeah, before we do that, we have to make sure we clear out any material that is going to show in here. So there we go. We got it aligned again. Okay, so you can see there that little border. I need to cut out that. And thankfully, there's a thick border right here, so I can kind of be liberal. I can be pretty liberal on how much material I'm going to cut out there. So anyway, yeah, I'm just going to lay this down really quick. So as you can see here, I've bent the piece a little bit to conform to the curve of the plastic there, and when I take it away, we've got a general bend in it there. So I'm going to set this aside. Okay, everyone, let me just demonstrate what I'm doing here. Now, I'm still learning with this tool, so bear with me now. If you see me making mistakes, please let me know. And I got to turn it on. Okay, so I've turned it on, and I've got it on the high setting. So we're just going to go through here, and you can see here it cuts through pretty smooth, and you're going to hear some squealing, and that's just the blade engaging with the plastic. And I'm just going to go here and shave off little small amounts there. And there you can see, so it does melt it. The vibrations actually cause friction, which generates heat and melts some of the plastic. So that's one of the things I've learned with this thing. You have to be kind of patient and slow and just trust the blade to do its work. You don't need to do it all in one hit. It's almost like shaving small pieces off at a time. So forgive me if it goes out of focus. I'm really more worried about maneuvering the piece to fit my view and avoid cutting myself. So you can hear that. I'm trying to make a square cut there. And I'm looking up to make sure I'm in the camera there. But you can see here, this thing really is fast, and it's easy to get impatient with it because it starts working so well. You just want to keep going really fast. But it's really important to think how long this would be taking with a general sanding stick or a regular X-Acto knife and shaving off little bits at a time, or maybe using the Dremel tool and grinding it. So I'm really finding this tool to be very, very nice. So I'm going to work on this side a little bit. Again, I'm just taking off small shavings at once. I'm not going too much. Really taking my time with this. I want to do it right, and it's better to do it right and have it take a long time than do it wrong and spend hours correcting some mistake. Okay, I'm just going to straighten out that little bit right there. Now, of course, for the finer details, you can use a sanding stick, absolutely, or a file. But I'm trying to gain some experience with this, so I'm going to continue to use this. Now, I am cutting off quite a bit of material, but that I'm only doing that because I had experience with the other side already. So I kind of already know how much I can take off. And for this part here, I can pretty much cut off as much as I want all the way to the edge, because this piece is covering quite a bit. So I'm just going to clean this up. Oh, and as you can see here, I do have a break right there, so I'm going to have to glue that later with some model glue, model cement. All right, so I've cut off enough to where I want to give this a test look. So I'm going to put the piece on. I keep dropping this thing. It's so fragile, and I don't want to break it. I don't want to break the piece here. Okay, so I put the piece on there, and I'm just going to shine a light there. And you can see, hopefully you can see there on the bottom, there's an illuminated part. I'm going to have to cut a little bit more off of there. And it looks quite a bit more off. So again, it's better to make multiple cuts than one giant one, and then it's something you can't repair. Now, time to glue this. It's pretty simple, so I'm not going to film it. It's just going to be, I'm going to be using some CA glue. Just put a little bit here on the edge, hold it down, use a clamp if I need to, right here, and just make sure that all of the connection is tight and seamless. So like right here, you can see it's really solid there. So I may have to just sand and file down the metal here to have a nice smooth edge there, but you can see there it's pretty good. Now over here there is going to be another triangle piece, so I'm going to have to put some putty right here and make that so it's level. We'll talk about that later, I hope. But as you can see there, though, because there is like a half a millimeter or so raised area because of the photo etch. So the instructions on the photo etch actually say to take this down 0.01 of an inch. I don't have that kind of skill, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to level off this part here so that the little triangle piece we put on later, which is right here, goes on flush. I will smooth out this part if needed later. I don't have the skill to take out 0.01 of an inch in an exact rectangular pattern as this thing. It just wouldn't work. I don't know how to do it. So if someone out there does, let me know. I'm just not quite comfortable with that, and I don't think overall it's going to affect the model that much. So I know I'm not doing it how it's supposed to be done, but again, I am not super master level skill at this point. So anyway, yeah, it should still turn out fine. It's a minor part on a very big model, and anyway, there we go. Okay, that's it for now. That's this section. I have rolled on long enough, and we will see you in the next section. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on, and it will end up looking like that. All right, see you soon. Okay, everyone, that's it for this video. I really appreciate your time and attention. If you have made it this far, really do appreciate it. Now, if you missed the introduction of the video, I do talk about putting some solar res on the windows here. I did the same thing with the part for the bridge section, which I cut out of the video. I just left the bottom part here to show you what I did. And again, it didn't turn out quite as well as I should have. I probably should have waited to put those windows in until the build was finished. So that's just a mistake on my part, and I'm going to have to try to fix that. I'm sure it'll look okay, but again, if I could go back in time and change it, I would do that. So anyway, that's it, everyone. Please leave a like and a comment and share the video and all that good stuff. And we will see you in another week with more content on the Reliant. Take care, everybody. See you down the road.